This episode is brought to you by Resy and American Express. Resy is a digital platform that connects restaurants to restaurant lovers by elevating dining experiences, providing original industry content, and helping to fill some of the country's most exciting dining rooms. Because restaurants have always been more than just places to eat. The amazing world of restaurants is just a few taps away in the Resy app and at resy.com.
I had that dream again. My small business needs to hire, but I don't use LinkedIn, and I hire wrong. So then I'm doing IT, and when I go to plug the servers in, they become sentient, and they won't let us access our network unless we forward their chain emails and memes to more and more and more people, and then I wake up.
Don't let hiring nightmares ruin your dreams. LinkedIn Jobs' new AI assistant finds and invites best-fit candidates to apply, so you can discover talent you may have missed. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/quality. Start hiring today with LinkedIn.
That's why I have this whole sayings, hug the noodle, because the noodle has to hug the sauce has to hug the noodle, and if you make that happen through movement.
This is Taste. I'm your host, Matt Rothbard. Chef and restaurateur Marc Vetri is behind the legendary Vetri Cucina in Philadelphia, among many restaurants. He's also the author of several cookbooks, including the terrific The Pasta Book, Recipes, Techniques, and Inspiration. I really enjoyed having Marc into the studio to talk about his deep love for both pasta and pasta cookbooks. We talk about the early days of Vetri, as well as how a family recipe was passed down for one of his new openings. I hope you enjoy this conversation. Marc Vetri, welcome to This Is Taste. So great to have you back. How are you?
So happy to be here, man. And I'm awesome. Life is amazing.
Yeah.
I mean,
Could not agree more.
Very lucky.
I'm glad you say that. I think like your career is really something that I've admired for 2 decades. I mean,
even longer now.
Well, what I know of it, I mean,
3.
you've been doing it, but I think I've been heading down to Philly and visiting your restaurants for 20 years and really just have deep love for what you do.
Oh man, that's really nice of you to say.
I mean it, and a lot of folks who've come through your kitchens have become big chefs, and we've had them on. So I have a lot of questions about your career, but also your terrific new book, The Pasta Book, which is a continuation of your journey.
Pasta Book, yeah.
With pasta, you did a terrific, well-regarded, award-winning book 10 years ago, and now you're back with a different one.
Mastering Pasta, yeah. That was an awesome one also, yeah.
So amazing. But you were cooking last night at Risadora.
Risadora, yeah.
Tell me about that.
Amazing. Well, I just met him last year, and it was just kind of one. You know how sometimes you meet other the restaurant owners, and nice to meet you, and then you meet them, and you're like, I love this guy, And he was, we just kind of mesh. He worked in Italy, I worked in Italy. We just knew all of the same folks, and when I was thinking about the events and who I want to have one with, it was he was I have to have one with him, and then it was just an incredible meal last night. It was just so fun to actually hang out there. We ate there for lunch.
Oh, cool! You got to try some,
which was really nice. Yeah, really awesome, and then we did a 14 course, everything right out of the book, But it was just one ravioli, one gnocchi, one forkful of this.
Which is what you want.
Which is
that's
the
amazing.
Coolest thing. Well, that happened. That was kind of I opened up back in 2020. I opened up a restaurant over in Asia, Kyoto.
Yeah.
And so I've been lucky enough. I mean, I have a restaurant over there. That's really fucking cool, right?
No, really fucking cool.
It's that, not on the bingo card.
No, to have your own restaurant to Kyoto is pretty special.
Last year we were eating there, and I was eating another sushi and omakase, and it was my 8th or 9th one. I was just eating it, love it, one bite, and it's just why can't we make this for noodles? One ravioli, one forkful of pasta, and
Because you want to try the
Exact-
pasta shape, the dough, the way it's
Yeah.
been constructed, the condiment, the
Exactly.
garnish, but we want to try a lot of them.
Yeah.
And I think Stefano Secchi, who you mentioned, does an incredible job with his tastings, where we can't eat that much pasta.
You can't. It's just heavy, and
Yeah.
you want, and you just nonstop eating. But
Yeah.
this is really nice, So we would do 14 courses. Everybody ate everything, which was, even like the last one was the actual scallop raviolo, which is in the book. And we were like, I don't know how they're going to finish it. Everyone ate everything.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
you weren't like full, you didn't roll out, and you had like all these different flavors, which is,
I think like the best pasta cooks in America, yourself, Missy Robbins,
Missy's
Evan
amazing,
Funky,
Evan's
Stefano
amazing,
Secchi.
Stefano, yeah.
These are
Michael Tusk. I mean, yeah, the list goes on.
list goes on,
Yeah,
but I think you all are proportional in the way you serve pasta in restaurants. Wasn't always the case.
Yeah.
I was just like reflecting on Babbo and just like the early days of Babbo. It was just so heavy. And like
I mean, I gotta say, I used to love those mint love letters.
I had it. Mark Ledner brought them back.
I know.
And I had
I
one.
gotta go. Yeah.
I had one a few nights ago.
Oh, really? Gosh, I gotta go.
Those mint love letters are incredible. But I just think in general, seeing pasta courses and tastings come out with proportion and like having the guest in mind, modern and very cool.
It's just really like nice. And the old adage of like noodle with like you ladle on the sauce.
Yeah.
Is like, that's why I have this whole like, sayings, hug the noodle, because the noodle has to hug the sauce. The sauce has to hug the noodle. And to make that happen through movement.
I mean, through that emulsification step.
Exactly.
And like making sure, and that's like the biggest challenge with cooking pasta at home is getting that perfect moment.
Yes.
And like,
it is a moment also. It's like, a little bit more water, add a little more. It's like, you have to look at it. It's, almost there, not quite there, a little more heat, a little less heat.
but then, okay, here's the question. As a home cook,
Mm-hmm.
like you see this happen, you have a perfectly emulsified sauce in pasta,
Mm-hmm.
but then you drop it on the table and then people keep talking.
Sure.
And people need to use the bathroom and people need to go check their phone and it's like sits there for 3 minutes.
Well, I think that there is certain noodles that works with, and there's like certain ones that you have to eat right away. So if I'm making something that you have to eat right away, I will be like, eat this right now. But if it's like rigatoni with my sausage ragu, that could sit there for like 30 minutes and it's awesome still.
Yeah.
So it's like certain ones.
So what are the ones that we need to serve a la minute?
A la minute are usually like fresh noodles, like a thinner like linguine. It's like a thin fettuccine. Those like start to kind of stick, together, and you're gonna lift up like the whole thing in like one forkful.
That's
those,
a great note.
Those you have to eat right away. But the thicker ones, rigs, and even like raviolis, even if they're thin, like agnolottes, ravioli, tortellinis, you can leave them in there for a little bit. They're going to be fine.
Which is a great tip for dinner party hosts.
Yeah.
I mean,
but it's those longer, flat, thinner noodles that you have to eat right away.
yeah, like doing cacio e pepe with linguine, you got to go out.
No, that's going to cloy together.
Yeah, I
it's
know.
Gonna,
And then it's like,
yeah.
I think cacio e pepe is obviously you have this master recipe. It's one of your first recipes, but doing it in the dinner party, I would not recommend that.
No, and we now for all of the events, because everyone wants us to make something. It's just like all we do now is rigatoni, sausage ragu, because you can make it. It can sit.
Yeah.
It's easy. It's not going to mess up.
Before we get into the book more, I want to talk about Michelin. Philadelphia just announced their first stars.
Exactly.
I mean, long time coming.
Long time coming.
And I know Michelin is important to you, and you've worked at Michelin restaurants as a young cook. Like you were seeking them out. Results are in, and I just want to ask you how do you feel about the results of Philadelphia?
I feel fine with it. I think that awards are, I think most folks like they get either too happy for an award or like really, really sad for an award. Mm-hmm. And I've always thought of like the nomination as the major thing, right? We were nominated for 14 Beard Awards every year. I was at the awards. We never won, but it was still like fun, and it was like still like we're there. We're being recognized. You know, we were nominated for the Michelin star. We can get one, but you know, but even if we like won one, we'd be happy for a day, and then we go back to work, and like that's it. It's like there, you know. So I think that for Philly, it's like really awesome because we've never had
So
it.
cool for
You know,
Philly.
We worked like really hard, to get them there. You know,
To
I was
build
actually
the
working
city
with
up. Yeah.
like we were working with the governor to you know, and because he didn't know what it actually was, and I had to be like, listen, man, you know, it's a lot of money. However, you know, they're gonna eat here, they're gonna stay here, they're gonna walk around here, they're gonna spend money here, they're gonna stay overnight here, they're gonna visit the museums here, and it's worth it. You know,
You went to the governor's office.
I did.
You met with the governor.
I met with the governor.
You met with the governor, and you made the case that Michelin means a lot for tourism, and that investment was worthworthwhile. I would say it's netted out even already, just getting the awards.
We were crushed this week, the whole friggin' week.
Yeah.
Everyone was crushed. Every like restaurant was full. The hotels were full. Like, so already it's worth it. And you know, and it's always the same thing. Everyone's, oh my God, Mrs. Gonna. It's never what you think. It's never the restaurants who you automatically, maybe it's one or something, but it's not always the restaurants who you think. And there's never like, I mean, many of them, you know, everybody think, oh, this one's going to get one, this one's going to get one. It's never like that.
I mean,
but it's just be happy and like whatever.
I'll say two things. I think you're right about it's a one-day thing. It's same with media awards.
Same with any award or any list.
You
like
celebrate the
San
one
Pellegrino,
day. Yeah.
The Beard House, you're on a list of 50 best lists. Okay, oh, that's awesome, man. They recognize us. But then it's like, back to work.
Yeah, it's one day of celebration or deflation, but then you move on and you get the next. But I mean, I personally think it was an oversight that your namesake restaurant did not get one Michelin star because just of the history of it and just what I have John and Aaron, my great friends in Philly, who I consider they're my sources for what's happening in Philly, and they have always said your restaurants, and particularly Vetri, is like it is one of the city's best.
I think it's pretty cool. So you know, we're having fun. We just had our 27th year anniversary.
Yeah.
And we are a new restaurant every single year.
Yeah.
We evolve. And the thing that's really, really amazing about it is we have, 25 staff members now who have been working with us for over like 12 years, you know. So it's
very cool.
It's a really big, happy family. And that's what's important.
And it's a great point. And that the fact that you're busy, and I looked on your reservation and you can't book there. So
we're busy.
It's busy. It's great.
On everything.
From February 20th to March 7th, dive into Canada's biggest culinary festival, Montreal en Lumière, an exclusive partnership with the McCord Stewart Museum and its exhibition, On the Menu Montreal, a restaurant story. The 2026 festival invites food lovers on a flavorful journey through time. Montreal's top restaurateurs will reimagine 65 years of the city's iconic gastronomy, crafting inventive, nostalgia-inspired dishes with a modern twist. Prepare your palate. World-renowned chefs, including several Michelin-starred talents, will team up with over 80 of Montreal's finest local chefs to create unforgettable, one-of-a-kind menus. The full program is available at montrealenlumiere.com. Presented by Lotto Quebec in collaboration with National Bank. Hi there, it's Matt, co-host of the show. We are currently running a This Is Taste listener survey, and we'd love to hear from you. Do you have a guest request? A restaurant you wish we'd visit to talk about on 3 Things? What about a lesser-known cookbook author who deserves a spot in our studio chair? You can let us know by clicking the link in our show notes to complete the survey. It will only take a couple minutes, I swear, and will help us continue to make the best show possible. That's the This Is Taste listener survey, link in our show notes. I want to ask you a little bit about just the style of Vetri, of your namesake and long-running restaurant. I mean, you seem to have pioneered something that you see now in Philly as a commonality, which is putting your restaurant in a townhouse in a brownstone in a cozier, homey setting. I think fine dining before that was in hotels and more traditional spaces, and now you see it. Philly is now known for that style of restaurant, which I think is special about Philly. How do you feel about being kind of a pioneer in that world?
Yeah, I mean, it just kind of happened. I wasn't like looking for anything. I remember, I was in New York in 1996, 1997, and I really wanted to, open up a restaurant, and I was looking here a little bit, and I was like, wow, the rents are like nuts. Like I'm going to go home. And then I started looking around there, and I started finding things. And then, the old, everyone's like, oh, when you're ready to open up a restaurant, let me know. I'm going to give you money. And then I was like, okay, great. So I found the restaurant a little bit larger, and I needed whatever, $500,000 then. And everyone I asked was like, oh man, now's not a good time.
Yeah.
I can give you 15 grand. I'm like, yeah, man. Okay. So I was like, I have to find something little, and then there was a restaurant named Chanterelle, which was the original Lebec fan.
Yeah. The original Lebec fan.
And it was small, and it was 30 seats. And I just remember walking in and being and I literally walked in with my father. And I walked in and I was like, this is it. And he was like, come on, this is a little nothing. Let's get the fuck out of here. And I was like, no, you don't understand. This is like La Bruguera, which is where I worked in Italy. Looks exactly like it had, and I was like, I can make the yellow walls. I can make the wainscoting. It's really small. It reminds me of it.
Yeah.
And it was it. Yeah. And then I opened it up for 150 grand.
So it was like, I don't know, that kind of budget.
And I didn't need anybody. I did,
How big was your staff when you opened?
There was me, one other line cook, one dishwasher, Jeff Benjamin, who's still my partner. He was the manager there then, and he was also the server. And then we had two other servers and Erasto, the busboy, who is still with us.
Incredible.
Still working with us after 27 years.
I love that. And
really cool.
What's the early days of Vetri like with these menus? I mean, you're known for shaking things up, Marc, and you see it in your book work too. You just have recipes pouring from you and ideas.
Yeah.
Are you writing new specials weekly? Are you rewriting the menu often?
When I opened, it was still, remember, this is 1998. Everything was red sauce, still. And I was, walking in there with wild boar ragu and spinach gnocchi and then sweetbreads and sweet onion crepe. And everyone was, we used to literally have folks walk in and be like, this isn't Italian. You're never going to make it. It's
wild.
I have great fucking stories.
And in Philly,
it was.
The opinions are flowing.
And we were slow, man. We were doing 8, 9, 15. And then the weekends were okay.
Yeah.
50 covers or 60 covers. It was nice. But then, what happened was the weekends were mobbed. And I didn't like it because it was just folks would order one thing. So I was like, hey, why don't I make a 6-course menu and only offer it Saturday night? For $65 a head, which was oh my God.
Yeah.
How am I going to charge that?
Princely sum at the time.
Yeah.
A lot for pasta too, or Italian food, not just pasta. But.
So I had that, and I had one menu, and it went like wildfire. And I started, get into art, and I liked, my handwriting is, it's
cool.
interesting. I
think.
Cool. I don't know,
It
whatever.
has
So
an
I used to
aesthetic.
hand paint the menus and hand write the menus every week.
So cool.
And I would write 15 of them, because that would last through the night. I could let 4 people have it then, another 4 people have it. So now the old ones are they're all on the wall. And if you look at them and I just, think about it. I'm like, I used to make up 3 new apps, 2 new noodles, 1 new entree, and 2 new desserts every week, Monday to Wednesday. Thursday, I used to paint 15 menus.
All one of ones, like by
all
hand.
at once because you have to let them, because you have to leave them for a night.
Yeah.
Friday, I would handwrite all of the menus, and then Saturday, we would have it. And I did that for like 10 years.
I know.
And
I
when
think
I
I first
think
encountered your
about
restaurant. Yeah.
now, when we're like working on something like new, and it's like 1 week for like one new fucking dish, and you're like, we got to tweak this, got to put a little video. I used to do that like in an hour, know?
Yeah.
And it's just crazy when you look at all those menus and like see, and it was
remarkable, Mark.
wild. It was wild.
And really, this restaurant just means so much to Philly because it really introduced Philly to the style of fine dining that you were seeing a little bit in New York at the time, but like really putting Philly on the map for a place that has this world-class cuisine.
Well,
and
we evolved also. You know, it wasn't like, when we opened, it was like an a la carte. And then once we started that, then we offered that during the week also. And then we added Friday nights, only offered that. And then after like years and years and years, it was like most folks were ordering that only. So we just moved to no a la carte.
Tell me about Fiorella. I feel like this story is maybe less familiar with our listeners who haven't been down to Philly to see it. It's a tribute to a market that you had been to as a child. You borrowed the name with blessing from the family, and you open up in Philly. And just the food there, I've heard from my sources, exceptional.
It's
great
really
things.
cool. At all of my restaurants, we have like the Garmo station, the noodle station, meat and fish, and the noodle station's always like, the 6-burner range and then the water tank.
Yeah.
Always. And, at some of the larger restaurants that I've had, we do 200, 300 out of there, and it's no issue. And I was always, for years, I was like, this 6-burner range and the water tank, that's a restaurant.
Yeah.
That's got to be a restaurant.
Yeah.
Years. It's like, I have to open up this restaurant, small 6 burners. And I looked and I found one, but then I said no to it. And then Fiorella, which is a sausage shop from 1892.
Yeah.
They were actually selling. And I walked in, and it was a long wooden counter. I was like, this is it, like 6-burner range. Yeah. And we had 20 seats in there when I opened, and it was February 14th, the virus year.
2020.
Yeah.
And we not had 14 the best time seats. To open. Yeah.
Yeah. And we had 20 seats, and we were doing 130.
Yeah.
It was like they were just eating pasta.
4.5 covers,
40 minutes,
turns,
45 minutes. They were
4.5 turns for dinner service. Pretty
and it was
good.
Crushed. We were crushing them.
Sweet.
Yeah. Funny story about the name of it. I was kind of thinking like what to name it, and I was like, Vetri noodle, pasta. This, and I didn't like any of the names. And then the old owner, was walking around the city, and he sort of stopped in, and I was like still, laying out the restaurant, and he was like, well, what are you going to name it? And I was like, I don't know, but I'd really like to use your name. I'd really like to name it Fiorella. And he looked at me, and he was like, I would be so honored.
Wow.
And I was like, oh my God. And then I was like, and I'd really like to use like the sausage recipes. And he looked at me and said, "That's going to cost you."
I mean, you
So he let me have the
unexpectedly
name, but he didn't let me have the sausage recipe. But I bought the sausage recipes from him. So
you struck a deal.
the sausage ragu is the exact recipe.
Okay,
yeah.
can I unpack that for 1 second? When you buy a sausage recipe, I mean, was it a lot of money?
It was an alibi. It was, listen, I was like, listen, man, you tell me what you want. This is his life's work.
This is what you start with.
This is like
negotiation. Smart
100
move.
years of family work. So there's 4 sausage recipes.
Yeah.
And he like had them on an index card.
Okay, on a card.
And it was more of like not the recipe and the money. It was just like, hey man, like you should have something for your life's fucking work. You know what I mean?
I really, really appreciate the way you just described that, because like you obviously can make great sausage and you've been in.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
you wanted.
I wanted his recipe, even though it's not like this mind blowing thing that, oh my God, that's in it.
That secret.
It's more of how he made it.
Well, yeah, of course.
And then also he like stopped over and he like made it with us.
I'm sure he
the
demoed
guy
it for you. Yeah.
made this legendary man of South Philly, like made sausage with me. Like come on. Like what's not to love about that?
That ethic should be followed in our restaurant industry, particularly if you have success and you're looking to build and you want to do homage. Not everyone can swing that, but if you have an established restaurant that has inspired you, there's nothing weird or corny about saying, "Can I buy a recipe?"
Yeah, and let me tell you, it was an exorbitant amount of money, but it was worth every fucking cent.
I mean, am
Am I allowed to say fuck, by the way?
You
Okay,
are
good,
absolutely. We are pro apps.
Because I've already said it a million
No, we're
times.
good. No
Good,
beeps here.
good.
Great story there, Marc, and I feel like we could talk all day about your restaurant career, and we have in previous episodes.
We could.
I want to talk about the book, though. 10 years after publishing Mastering Pasta, again, a really terrific technical book, just a lot of, and I'll get to a story about what fans of that book ended up there. They're in this new book. What did you want to say that you didn't say in the first book with this new book?
Yeah, well, you just actually said it. It was a very like technical book, a very like science-based book.
Yeah.
Where this one's more about flavors. It's really about how do we match this up with that? How do we think about this flavor or this sort of shape with this ragu? It's more about the actual creative of like everything, where the other one was more like science-based. So this one's fun. It's a lot more vibrant.
The design
It's really,
jumps off the page.
It's really neat. And we had to work on that. The initial one was just like the old book, and I was just like, we really got. So I actually wrote up here, and we like laid it out together, and it's just beautiful. They did an incredible work on it.
Yeah, I mean, you're there's a little bit of Memphis style in there from a mid-century Italian design. There's some
like art, sort of old school, like 1950s, like the deco
and deco as well. Exactly.
But and then we also made these little the videos, which is really fun. We have little
QR codes.
Exactly, and because I was always like, these are so hard to show how to roll in like not 9 photos, right? You have 9 photos. Oh, here's where your hand is. Here's where it is now. But if you just watch a 90-second video, it's like so much easier. And that's how I learn a lot of stuff, just by looking on like, what's called YouTube.
Yeah, I think QR codes are very
so that's really neat.
Yeah.
The name of it is, one of those things. It's actually fast, funny little thing. We were having this email about like names. We can now like some want this name, some want the other name. So we had this email going like notes on pasta, this on noodles, blah blah blah. And I was like, listen, everyone just kind of send what you think, and then we'll figure something out. And the memo was names for the pasta book. And I was just like, hey, what about the pasta book? It wasn't even a name. Everyone was like, wow, the pasta book.
Yeah.
There's not another one.
It's really smart because it really messages that this is obviously a book about pasta, but there's no technique or there's no word that exudes like science. But also, if you read it, and you should buy it, I'm linking to it in the show notes, it's a great book. Honestly, it is technical. There's a lot of, making pasta is not something that you just like do on a spur of the moment for a 30-minute meal, though I'm sure you can. I think that there's so much technique, particularly with base doughs, particularly with knife cuts, particularly with hand rolling.
Just little things that can actually help, and there's a million of them, right?
And I just wanted to ask you about this story in the book. There's so much great writing. You write about your travels in Italy, and your father's in the book, and there's this essay about Yum Hua.
It's good stories,
Good stories. I mean, really there.
It's a really good storybook also. You should actually read the book and not just look at the recipes.
And I read it, and I had this guy, Yum Hua, who was living in Singapore. I think he was like an accountant.
He was an accountant.
And he bought your book 10 years ago.
Book, which is, that's just kind of, when he was actually here, and he said that my book started him in this world, I was just like, oh my God, dude. That's just, wow. Yeah. So he was an accountant, he hated it. He bought my book, and he fell in love, and he was, just learned, exacting everything, and started making things nicer than anyone else would. He wanted to be this is exact.
Which is what you can admire as a chef, and you train people to do that.
Exactly. And then he opened up a restaurant out there.
Yeah.
And then he was, he did this thing like in America where he just went around to a lot of restaurants, and he made a meal there, and he just kind of showed them certain things. And he emailed me, and he was just like, "Hey, I'm a big fan. I'm going to be in America this month, that month. Would you like to host me?" I was like, "Yeah, sure." And then he was there, and he was showing us a whole bunch of stuff, and then he told me the story.
So he basically was taking a kind of a stage rotation, or
he was just heading around, and because he wanted to see restaurants in America. So I think he was here for a month, and we actually sold the event with him.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and he did it with us. I think he did it with Lilia. I think he did it with Rob Gentile.
Gentile. Great
I think he went up to San Francisco and did one. He was all over the place. But when he was with us, obviously he said, I just have to let you know this. And I was just blown away.
Very cool story that how really cool. A book can change someone's life to that extent and get them into the restaurant industry.
Life,
have you been to Singapore to try his food?
I haven't. I have not, but I want to.
I'm
really
sure you
bad.
will.
Yeah.
I'm sure you'll make it there one day.
It's on the bucket list.
So let me just ask you the big question. But
the big question? You didn't already ask me the big question?
I mean, we've had some big questions. But really 2 recipes, 3 recipes from the book that maybe you're just really proud to get these down, perhaps for the first time or just in this form.
Yeah. Well, I would honestly say the rigatoni sausage.
Yeah.
When he let me have the sausage recipe, I worked on a ragu for that because I really wanted that to be like the namesake for the restaurant. So we really worked on one, red wine, fennel to match the fennel seed, and milk, So we really that one is one of my favorite ones in there. I would also say the ricotta gnocchi. Mm-hmm. That's one that wows everyone. It's just kind of, when you actually make it right, the middle of it stays raw, and there's not enough flour in it to make it be floury. It's almost like
pillow,
like oozy ricotta right in the middle of it. So it's almost like, how did you get that in there? It's just you just undercook it.
Because it sets in the bowl and it's going to get to that perfect temperature.
Yeah, so it's really good. And then, God, there's a million others.
That's why it's a big question.
Yeah, it's hard. I don't even know a third.
What about a pasta shape or a technique that maybe your first book didn't cover?
The The scallop ravioli that we actually made last night is really awesome because you make them large.
Yeah.
And scallop mousse is really easy to make if like you have a Roboku or just Cuisinart. And you just whip in some egg whites, some heavy cream. And it's just really, really, really like soft and like nice. I mean, that's a really special dish as well.
I feel doing a large raviolo with a mousse is one of those cool.
It's also easier because you don't have to make
dishes.
like 6 of them for an order. You make one.
You make one and you plate it up for like 4 or 6, wherever you
It's
make.
like an entree, yeah.
What's the cooking process then like for
Stick
this?
it right in the water. Same.
Just in the water.
Just leave it in there a little bit longer.
Just leave it in there a little bit longer.
Put it in the water. This is not hard things to make. This is, stick it in the water.
Let me ask you about just making fresh pasta. Mm-hmm. I would imagine if you have like a routine, like bread baking, we have a lot of bread bakers who maybe aren't making as much pasta.
Yeah.
It's like once you get into that routine, it gets easier. But like still, it feels like it's work to make pasta.
It feels like it's work, but it's not. And that's why whenever I have like lessons, I just make it right on the board. You know, I don't use the mixer or anything because I just want them to see.
Yeah.
You make them out in the flour, you stick eggs in the middle, you whisk, you slowly add the outside edges.
With a bench scraper?
And then it's So I start with a fork, and then after I like make the egg sort of slurry, then I use the bench, and then I just kind of whack it in there, and then I use my hands, and then it's like when you're making it at home, you should really only use your hands. You should never use a mixer because you're not going to make, you're going to make like that much, and that's enough for 15 people.
Yeah.
You never have to use a mix. I mean, we do, but we're making for 300 people.
You have to use the mixer.
Yeah.
But then with the shaping, are you using a crank? Are you using the rolling pin? Are you using?
We have a
pasta machine.
The sheeter.
The sheeter,
Yeah, you have to have a sheeter. And like the KitchenAid attachment.
Yeah.
Those are awesome.
Yeah.
Those are really awesome. You can, and everybody has one of those.
Yeah, I agree.
They're $100. You get a little thing, and then you can also get the thick ones, thinner ones, fettuccine.
Yeah.
So you can just also add those in there, and you can make whatever you want. But that's all you really need. But as far as like mixing it, you should always mix it with
your hands
at home.
and get into that sheeter, and then you decide on your shapes, right? Once you have that dough, you're ready to shape, and you have so many opportunities.
Yeah, well, you can use for those things. For like semolina flour dough, where you're making like the thicker shapes, and you're not rolling it out on like a sheeter.
Yeah,
that's all. You should absolutely use your hands with that one, but it's just, and also when you're sort of mixing with your hands, it's almost like yoga.
I agree.
Meditation. I could sit there and I could mix, and I could make things hours.
Yeah,
hours. Orecchiette. Boom.
I love the little orecchiette shaping.
It's just like
something cool
relaxing.
About that. Yeah, and I think it's if you work with your hands, or if you have that kind of skill set, or even if you don't, you work at it. It is a great break from the digital world.
Oh God, it's great.
Like we got to be real about this stuff. Like, go make some pasta after a long day.
It's heaven.
Spreadsheets.
Sometimes when I'm up there and I'm just making noodles, the guy's like, "Oh, we didn't make enough of this or that," and I was like, "I'll go upstairs and roll."
Yeah,
it's like an hour goes by, and I'm like. They're like, "What are you doing?" Oh, sorry, here.
I'm rolling, guys. I got to do this.
Yeah.
Mark, what are you excited about for 2026?
2026. I'm excited to just, honestly, I am so lucky. The restaurant, as I actually said earlier, it's always evolving, and when I go anywhere, the restaurant is a sort of direct result or sort of snapshot of my life at any sort of moment.
Yeah.
And when I head to wherever it is, Asia or this, I get inspired.
Yeah.
And when I get home, I'm always, we got to do this, or or I bought this. Even like just little things. Every little, fork, every little thing. Like last summer, I went to Florence, and there was this little olive wood, store. And they had little forks and olive wood and this and they had little hearts. These little olive wood hearts that were like $3. So I was like, let me have 100 of them. They were like 100, yeah. So so when I went home, I was like, hey, we're gonna welcome folks in with these little wooden hearts because it's like saying, hey, welcome. We love that you're here. So basically, then we had the fork plate, the napkin, the silverware, and then right on the napkin we have this little wooden heart. And everyone who walks in, and like sits there is like, oh my God, look at that! It's like so nice, and it's just a little moment, that just makes them, more at ease. It's a nice little thing. It's just. But we do hundreds of those little things that are meaningful.
That's what makes a meal when you're restaurant special, because I do believe I've experienced it myself. It's getting those small details, right? And thinking about and being having a personality.
Yeah. And like now, my visits, to Asia, that's like starting to make its way into the food, and it's just really fun. We're new. It's and it's not, we still are on this road. Yeah. But, sometimes we kind of veer off a little bit and we kind of do this.
Would you do an Asian noodle idea? Would you, for Philly?
No. I mean, like some of the Asian flavors work really well with my style of food.
But I'd say seeing some Asian flavors in your food for a concept, for an idea.
Yeah, I don't know if I would. Yeah. Veer that far.
Yeah, that's like a right. We're pushing it, Marc.
That's like a right turn. I'm like just kind of veering.
You're like an on ramp.
Yeah. I'm not turning.
Fair.
I'm just veering.
I like that. You know what you want, and I appreciate that. This episode is brought to you by Hungry Root. If you listen to the show, you may know that I am a major fan of Hungry Root. I've been a paid subscriber of Hungry Root since 2018, and have had the company's founder, Ben McKean, sit in the studio for a conversation. The reason I love Hungry Root is simple. When I'm in a pinch for time to make an interesting and delicious lunch or dinner, Hungry Root always has my back. Hungry Root basically works like a personal nutrition coach and shopper by planning, recommending, and shopping everything for you. You start by taking a survey about what you like and don't like, simply using thumbs up and thumbs down icons, and they take care of the weekly grocery shopping, recommending healthy groceries tailored to your tastes, nutritional preferences, and health goals. When the box arrives, there are several simple recipes, like pesto with cheese ravioli, roasted salmon over arugula, and my favorite, the chicken shawarma bowl over grains and greens, which I make for dinner at least once a week. They also make this incredible plant-based almond chickpea cookie dough that I eat right out of the container. I love it so much. Hungry Root also has a huge selection of healthy groceries, everything from smoothies and quick lunches to kids' snacks and supplements. And unlike what you'd find in the grocery store, there's no junk ingredients in any of Hungry Root's food. They only source high-quality meat and seafood with no hormones or antibiotics. I love Hungry Root and recommend it all the time for my busy friends, and I hope you take this recommendation as well. And This Is Taste listeners can take advantage of this exclusive offer. For a limited time, get 40% off your first box, plus get a free item in your box for life. Go to hungryroot.com/thisIstaste and use code ThisIsTaste. That's hungryroot.com/thisIstaste, code ThisIsTaste, to get 40% off your first box and a free item of your choice for life.
Here's to quitting. Quitting the couch for a quick run. Quitting the snooze button for a morning workout. Quitting giving up after 2 weeks. You see, staying committed to your fitness goals isn't easy. But with Apple Watch, you don't have to do it alone. Because Apple Watch gives you real-time motivation, plus advanced metrics that track all your workouts, so you can stick to your New Year's fitness resolutions. And once and for all, quit quitting with Apple Watch. iPhone 11 or later required.
Mark, on This Is Taste, we ask guests about their discerning taste. So to close this interview, here's a little rapid fire, fast and furious.
Rapid fire. I love
check.
rapid fire. Hold on. I got some water
Sip
before
it.
rapid fire. I got to give you one-word answers, right?
You can. We sometimes allow more.
Okay.
The best fruit.
Sometime. The best fruit. Pomegranate.
The worst vegetable.
The worst vegetable.
Yeah. You must have
God,
one.
I love a ton of vegetables.
You got to answer it, though.
You know what I hate? Fuck, I hate okra.
Yeah.
Fucking hate okra.
Yeah.
Fuck you, okra.
Yeah, it's tough,
It
man.
sucks.
Yeah.
It's like ooey and gooey.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
Ugh, disgusting.
Yeah, a lot of chefs don't
Hate
like
it.
that.
There you go.
What is your typical breakfast?
Come on, man. Macchiato.
Oh, so you're one of those
Come
guys.
on, dude.
That's it.
It's not even hard. It's a coffee. That's it.
Yeah, that's it. You're
Yeah.
typical chef.
Yeah, I don't have
Typical
breakfast.
working
Yeah.
chef. All right, big one. The best dessert.
Anything chocolate. I love chocolate. Huge.
What's one?
Oh, what like one?
Yeah, dessert that uses chocolate.
Name one? Oh,
Yeah.
I don't know chocolate mousse. What I mean,
Mousse? Yeah. Oh, we'll give you mousse.
Mousse.
Me too.
Mousse. I love a
damn.
chocolate mousse.
Oh my God, me too.
Yeah.
Like
nobody like makes it anymore.
nobody makes it anymore.
You know who like made an awesome one that I had, and I was like, "Fuck, why isn't this on every menu?" Le Cuckoo.
Oh, the cuckoo did one.
Cuckoo did a chocolate.
That's
mousse.
right.
Years ago when I ate there, and they served, I was like, "Chocolate mousse, man, that is amazing."
I think you Italian chefs, though, you have mousse adjacent, which is the budino.
Yeah, it's not
Mousse
quite the same
adjacent.
thing.
It's
That's
definitely not the same.
That's kind of more like floppy.
A little more floppy.
Yeah.
Mousse is the velveteen.
Yeah.
I agree with you. I
Yeah.
love chocolate mousse.
Yeah.
So good. The best thing you've ever baked.
My panettone. Come on.
You do your own.
I do my own panettone.
Tell me
I'm
about-
obsessed. Oh, I'll tell you about it. I mean, we only have. You have another 8 hours.
No, I know, and I asked this because we've had the baker from Olivieri up
Yeah.
in Verona do.
I'm obsessed.
Do you know
I
those
make
guys?
them- I don't, but
Yeah.
but I've
It's a really good spot.
for sure heard of them. Yeah.
Yeah. But you're obsessed with making panettone.
Obsessed. I make it every year. Like only one who makes them, and
How many do you make?
I usually make for the holidays. I'll like make like 60 of them, and I'll like mail them out because we only have a small oven.
Yeah.
But we make them the whole sort of from November on.
And you can buy them.
No, you can have them at the restaurant.
This is a restaurant.
You can have a slice. I'm not selling them. I can't. I don't have the wherewithal.
You would never have
bandwidth.
that. You would never have that. That is.
No, I just Like,
Yeah, I went.
physically make them. My wife. When I like have the alarm set at like 5 a.m. and it goes off, my wife is like, "Are you fucking making panettone?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's rising."
It's a
She's like, "Oh my
wild
God."
recipe.
Yeah,
It's a
It's
wild.
like 3 days.
3 days.
Yeah.
And this is for a pro. I mean, it's
Yeah, it's awesome, but I love it.
a restaurant you wish you could bring back from the dead.
Lebec Fen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you feel being in the former space? Do
Yeah,
you feel
it was
kinship?
magical. It really,
Yeah.
He really stuck Philly like on the map.
Yeah.
He was the only restaurant back in the 70s and 80s, really, and he was amazing. And he was, he was in when there wasn't all the accolades and everything. And
Yeah.
he was just there, and he was legendary.
Yeah.
And,
A lot of people came out of that kitchen too.
yeah, a lot of people, they come out of that kitchen.
When you're craving fast food, where are you going?
Fast food. I'm a hamburger guy.
Yeah.
Like Shake Shack or In-N-Out.
Yeah. Fair.
Love those.
Favorite city outside America to visit for food?
It's got to be Kyoto now.
Nice.
That's the best.
So you go once a
I
year?
usually go twice a year. Yeah.
Oh man,
I
Mark.
know, it's ridiculous.
Damn.
Like, God,
You get that twice a year schedule
I'm
going.
pinching myself. It's
It's-
amazing. Oh
yeah.
God, it's amazing.
And you'll cook some dinners there when you're there.
oh yeah.
I mean, you're working,
We work.
obviously.
Yeah.
You're working, but like, will
But
you
usually,
do?
I like the evenings. I have off. Yeah, I show them new
Yeah.
menu items, new recipe things. We do some events and everything.
Yeah, events and stuff.
Yeah.
Last one, your favorite sandwich?
My favorite sandwich. I'm from Philly.
Yeah.
So it's got to be
Oh, can I answer it?
what?
It's got to be the roast pork.
I love a roast pork,
But you were
I
gonna
really
say
love
it.
a cheesesteak. I
All right.
love a good cheesesteak.
There you go.
Yeah.
You're
You didn't ask me though for my late night, sort of.
Okay. Well,
What I eat late at night.
Okay.
Frozen Raisin Bran.
You just keep it in the freezer?
I keep it in the freezer because it makes the raisins like hard, but then they're chewy, and like the actual flakes last longer, and then it makes the milk like really, really frozen. It's like the greatest thing at midnight.
I'm really
frozen raisin
trying
bran, bro.
it. I'm 100% trying this. Back to the cheesesteak.
Hot tip right there.
Yeah,
Come on.
you have civic pride in the cheesesteak. I've always thought of it as a roast pork town, but
It is a roast pork. I love a roast pork sandwich. I love it. I love it. It's just, I mean, there's like the whole like favorite sandwich is really hard for me.
I know.
Philly's just a sandwich town. Like,
but
I love a hoagie.
Go back to the cheesesteak though. We talk a lot of shit about the cheesesteak on this show. I think me, but others objectively do not like the dish. But
Yeah.
you are living your truth here. So tell me about it.
Yeah, I think nowadays everyone's kind of they've elevated it. I was like raised on the old one where it's got the whiz and the onions, Frank Oliveri, and I love that cheesesteak. Like that's, a lot of folks are like, oh, you got to go to Angelo's, you got to go to Del Rossi's, which they're awesome.
Yeah.
And I love those. Because they're all making their own rolls. Also, it's kind of elevated now, right?
Yeah.
But I was raised on the older one. When I eat that, Frank Oliveri's steak. It's just it just reminds me of like when I used to head down to my father's mom and dad's house, and we used to walk over there, and we used to get a whiz with from Pat Steaks. And it's just, when I eat it, I'm just like, this is kind of like home. This is kind of like, it's just got that like nostalgia
really,
thing.
I love it, Mark. I mean, it makes 100% sense. And I think we all love foods that remind us of childhood in that way. And I wasn't trying to be mean to the cheesesteak.
No. There's no meanness. There's just like,
I like the pork, though. I like the roast.
I love the roast pork.
I love the pork.
I love the roast pork.
Just so many good.
Philly has a lot of awesome sandwich shops, and it's kind of hard to be like, this one's better than that. I think it's all about like moments, right? Like sometimes I'm like, I gotta go get a whiz with, and sometimes I'm like, right around the corner from Angelo, so I'm like, I have to have an Angelo cheesesteak right now. Yeah. So it's just like it's the moment.
I love it. Marc Vetri, this has been such a pleasure. Thank you so much for joining This Is Taste.
My pleasure, man. Thank you so much for having
me. This Is Taste is hosted and produced by Eliza Barbanel and me, Matt Rodbar. The show is edited by lead producer Clayton Gumbert and supervised by Pat Stango, Director of Media Production and Development at Penguin Random House. Thanks to Shalia Harris and the production team at Penguin Random House. Theme music by Steve Rydell. Episode portraits by Louise Zergan Pomeroy. Logo design by Ellie Skirzat and Ian Dingham. Visit Taste online at tastecooking.com and make sure to subscribe to our newsletter to keep updated on all cool things in the world of taste.